It's Jim staring down the barrel of a defeat in the end and come back 2 goals 90th minute.
Absolutely. It's what we've done is we've found a way of winning. If I'm being perfectly honest, I've just said this in a previous interview. I look at the form recently; it's dipped. Happens at the top level. Look at Man City, and they're the best in the country, and they've dipped. So if they can, anyone can. But if I look at it, which is my job, and study what's gone on, we've bounced back when we got beat by these. We beat Warrington 3-0 and thought we were superb in the FA Trophy game. We've been beaten at Kings Lynn by a dubious penalty. Look, 0-0 written all over it. No one will tell me any difference. I've watched the game. It takes me 3 or 4 hours to watch a game. It's a dubious penalty. And we lose the game when we deserve the point, no more. Curzon were slightly better than us, but that's why they're top of the league and Kings Lynn the second. Curzon done us on a corner. So that was disappointing. We lose the game 1-0. We come to Marine, big crowd, everyone wants to do well, wants to put in a similar performance to what we did against Warrington the last time out at home. And I've been in the game long enough to know when all the hype is around the big game and everyone wants to come and see it, and everyone went away a little bit disappointed, me included, so fizzled out to a 0-0. It wasn't a great game. So suddenly you're looking at it thinking, well, we've only conceded 2 goals from open play, in those 2 games, and neither of them have been from open play, so that's something to be positive about. As me as manager needs to be positive and look for things. We've conceded a penalty in a corner in those 4 games, so we looked a little bit flat. We made the decision last Tuesday, and it's easy. People might say, "I'll make excuses and things like that." I'll always say it as it is. I'll just be dead honest. It's always the best policy. We give them the Tuesday off after Marine. Just to try something different, generate. Obviously, everyone has a Christmas night out. Go and enjoy yourselves. We'll come back in. We'll send you stuff to do, which they've done. They're an honest bunch. They work hard. We've sent them stuff. We come back in on the Thursday. We train flat out. We were ready for the game on Saturday. The game rightly was called off. It's hard with kids' football, etc. on a Saturday to try and organise somewhere to train. We worked extremely hard. Myself, Andy Burgess, to get somewhere. We got somewhere sorted on the Saturday morning to train. But when I went in my garden on Saturday morning to pick furniture up, there was no way we were training outdoors, and certainly not at the GMO at Skemmers there, which is wide open space. It would have been an absolute write-off. So you struggle to train. The part-time lads, they all go to work, etc. So if you look at it, we've trained once since Marine, 10 days. So I'm driving in tonight and I'm thinking we're going to go 1 or 2 ways. This was my concern. Or I was excited. I was excited at the fact that the rest might have given a little bit of an injection. We could have been fizzing everywhere, looked full of life. Or, because we haven't trained, we've probably come off the gas, lost a little bit of momentum, and we'll look jaded and sloppy and poor. And that's what it was. It was the latter. So I look at Peterborough, who've travelled 3 or 4 hours up the motorway. They've got here late. They've rushed doing the team sheet. They've named 3, I think, on the bench, but it was actually 5. That was the mess around with the sending off of the lad on the bench. So I look at it and I just think, so flat. Couldn't wait for the game. FA Trophy. We know who either team will have next round, and I was really disappointed. I had to go to town on them a little bit at half time to get a response. We made a change. We were lucky to be 1-0. We've come out second half. We've had a bit more of a go. We've hit the post. They've obviously hit the post. That was first half. They've hit the post. We've hit the post second half. We got a little bit better. Some players come up to speed. Got near where we expect them to be. I have to say at 1-0, Chris Henshaw's made 1 or 2 really good saves, 1 or 2 routine ones, but the last one where it looked like it's deflected, going in the corner, he's tipped it round the post. So I'm looking at it and thinking, disappointed. We conceded from a corner, everyone's assigned the jobs, Gash, first goal of the season for them. We've got to do better. They were better than us, 100%. But as I say, we kept going, we kept plugging away. We, as a manager, you're always striving. We're lacking a little bit at the top end of the pitch. We've changed personnel. We've changed shape. We've tried everything to try and get that all-important goal. suddenly can kick it on. I've just said again, the previous, sometimes you're waiting for one and two come at once, like the bus was in it. So when we got Jack Stafford on, obviously he's gone into a back four, not a wing back position. He's bombed on. He's fantastic finish by him. Back of the net. And at that moment, before that, I'm thinking, we're huffing and puffing. We've hit the post, not felt to anyone, but not really having the rub of the green in and around the box. And that happens. The season's long. Sometimes you'll play poorly and win like we have done. Sometimes we'll play really well and lose like we have done. So the most important thing from my point of view is that they kept going. First half, I thought it was all negative. We were poor. We never give the fans anything to shout about. Second half, the fans stepped up. They got behind us, and suddenly our performance started coming up. But I always say to players, don't expect, you've got to get the fans going rather than fans get you going. So I thought the fans were brilliant. A credit to them. They G'd us on, they got us going. We got that all-important first goal, and then suddenly the whole momentum shifts, the crowd are up, and everyone's open. Come on. I'm in the dugout thinking, I don't want penalties. That will write me off. But we credit to the lads, they've kept plugging away. The two subs have scored, and we've found a way in the end with Jamie Proctor's goal right at the death. So it's important that subs play the part, like I say. So I feel sorry for Peterborough. Long way to come. The game being off the weekend. They're not pushovers. They're a good side. They're 7 unbeaten. They've had a couple of draws at really difficult places. Last time out they drew at South Shields, who were a full-time club and probably should have won the game when I look over it. So as I say, the 7 unbeaten. So we knew it was going to be a tough game, but all we've done against the bogey side, someone's told me that we've never beaten them. We've broke that cycle tonight. We've got it in the next round against Southend away, which we can all look forward to as a football club when that comes around. But as I say, the crowd got right behind us and the players kept plugging away and found a way in the end of winning a difficult game.
And when you get those 2 goals so late on, especially when the second goes in, how do you celebrate that? 'Cause like you say,
I don't feel like I've won the game, if I'm being perfectly honest. And some managers will tell you that. I just feel so disappointed with the performance and everything that went with it. That when I wake up in the morning or I get home tonight or whatever, it'll kick in and I'll go, great, it's a win. We're back up and running. We've been pretty good here at home. I think it was only the Cares and FA Cup game and the Hereford game. And Peterborough obviously in the league, but apart from that, we've done all right. We've created, we've scored, we've struggled to score away from home. But as I say, it's about winning in the cup. It doesn't matter how you get there. It doesn't matter how you get there in any game. You want to win every game, but ultimately it's our job to try and be good and entertain and create and score. And we're dipped in certain areas. It's about putting it all together, but we've just found a way, and the way it happened right at the end, great when it happens, and but when the final whistle goes, it's more like relief, and it just hits you. That's football. I'm proper tied in with the football club. I feel it. I'm passionate. I want us to do well. I want us to play well. It's not always going to be the case. We've had a little bit of dip in form. I can understand people's frustrations and the shout out from the crowd and things like that, but ultimately, we've got ourselves into the next round. One way or other, we've just plugged away and we've got 2 goals in the 90th minute. So, as I say, when I get home later or I wake up in the morning, the bacon and egg will taste much better in the morning, I'm sure, rather than me, thinking that, on 85 minutes, I'm thinking, I could do without this. But it is what it is. We've found a way.
How important is it now to make this a regular feeling, that winning feeling? Because obviously, like you said, for 89, 90 minutes, it looked very much like you were dumped out and with whimper, really, and you come up like that, and it can be a good springboard.
It's football, listen, I've said before, Man City, best team in the country. Look at the form they're in. Look at Tottenham, the money they've spent, the managing, the start of the season they've had. Look at Arsenal until recently. They're the top end of the scale. It happens in every division. We're doing really well. We're 5th in the top. I'm not shouting it from the rooftops. I'm pleased the way it started, but I'm thinking, there's a lot of work to do. We've dipped in form against first and second, let's have it right, and a bogey side at home, obviously. In Peterborough, we drew against Marine. So suddenly it's that tight, the league, you filter down into the mid-pack. Where we were scoring goals and conceding goals, suddenly we're not scoring, but we're not conceding many. So it's about putting it all together. But the lads are honest, they feel it. I speak about non-negotiables, and the one biggest non-negotiable is when they put that shirt on, they represent the football club in the right manner, and they give it their absolute all. They are giving it their all. Sometimes they're going to come up short, sometimes they're not going to play well. We've got players who are dipped in form, one or two little bits of injuries. Obviously, Danny being our top scorer hasn't been available of late. So you're just striving to do well. And what we've done tonight, we've won a game that gives us that feel-good factor, although be it a little bit later on or tomorrow. And sometimes it can kick it on. Again, I'll go back to the top level. Arsenal were out of it. They lost a couple, doom and gloom, and then suddenly they have a really good win, and then they go on a little bit of a run. That's what I've just said to the lads. We've won the game. We've found a way of winning it. Let's make sure we go and win the next game now, and hopefully get back on another run, which over the programme now, over the next couple of weeks with the games that we've got, hopefully we can put some points on the board and get up the table. And then when Southend comes around, we'll embrace that challenge as well. But I'm sure everyone's really pleased tonight to go away thankful and, really happy that we've won it and we've got into the next round. And sometimes people don't look at the way you've done it. All they're bothered about is winning. I've got to look a little bit more than that. But ultimately, I will be happy that we've won the game and we're going to Southend in the next round.
You mentioned the attacking struggles, at least. How do you rectify them? Because it was a difficult night for Danny and Marcus at times tonight.
Yeah, they're honest lads. They work hard. Marcus and Danny are two of our top, in the stats with regards to sprints and distance covered. They're flat out for us. And teams or players go through lean spells. It's part and parcel of the game. If they were flat out and scoring every week, they wouldn't be at the level. Look at the likes of Mo Salah. He's flat out all the time, and he's scoring goals. He has had dips along the way, and again, I'm going to the top level. We're no different. They're human beings that sign hard. They're not, getting the goal, or certainly Marcus's case, but Danny's been injured. We've just got to make sure that we remain positive. We train well. Every game that we go into, we've got a positive mentality. We want to win every game that we go into. That's part and parcel, so we'll just continue to do that.
And does it maybe push you to look into the market or what's out there?
We'll assess it. Listen, we've got the Orangus there who's cup side tonight. Jamie Proctor's gone and scored. Danny's back from injury. Marcus Carver's a bit of a fan's favourite, and he's flat out every week for us, although he hasn't got the goals that he's striving for, but he's playing a big part for the team. So we've got that there. Sonny Hilton's a threat. Luke Burgess has scored a few goals. We've got a few things going for us, so we've just got to make sure that we continue to stay positive, work hard. Now we've scored 2. Let's hopefully go and score a few more over the coming weeks.
Sorry, Jim.